video is gonna be me making a storage unit for my seasonal storage buckets, such as Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, that type of stuff. So to begin, I have this area that I don't use, filled with gravel. Gravel, sand on top of the weed barrier, and it is hard as a rock. So what I'm doing is removing some of the gravel, digging down a little bit so that I can put these pillars in, and then watering out the gravel to calm down the sand, the dust. So here we are measuring the width of the, I guess, the platform, making sure it's squared because there's enough move on, so it has to be squared. Perfect. So I'm cutting some pieces of wood to support the beams. So starting off with the two outer side first, and then one in the center, and eventually moving out 16 inches towards the right and the left from that center piece. Have this plywood, or not plywood, OBS on this. One side is nice and slick and the other side isn't, so I believe I have the slick side down and then the rough side up. The slick side being down for the moisture, just in case, I guess. So I'm just drawing out a line right now. Chris is helping me out with every 16 inch so that I know where to put the screws into the floor, into the beam below the wood. This part was tedious because a lot of screws. So here is the first wall that's going to be up against my existing shed. And the frame for the storage. But this is just a mock-up. I'm putting wood glue on because why not? Extra strength. So I have the wood glue, and then I secure it with, I believe it's 2-inch Torx screws, or decking screws, I think they call it. Here is just a little block support for the side of the wall. So the stick frame, I guess, is done. Now I'm just laying on top of the roof. The roof has the tar paper. These are leftover paper that I have from my patio. Roll that out, making sure that it is gonna help waterproof the roof when it rains. So a lot of the stuff that I'm using is leftover material from recent projects or past projects. Here I'm laying on the shingles. You start from the bottom up first. I only bought one shingle packet, and that one shingle packet, coincidentally, I didn't know this, is perfect for 8x4 area or wood. So I didn't have to buy extra. I only bought one, which was great because it costs a lot of money. So I'm just lining them up with the line, driving down some little nails. I think they're 1/2-inch nails. Using my trusty old metal shear cutter to cut them. Those are great if you don't have any of those. So that's how it looks like. Nice and pretty. So when it rains, water goes down. You know, there's a lot of valleys out there, but now with the 93-degree of the weather, all of that is flat now. So here are the planks. These are cedar planks. They're actually, cedar wood that you buy for your fence. I'm using that for my door. Cut those up. Put them up as little prickets. The color red there. It's actually an oil-based stain. So that is to protect this storage unit from the rain, or I'm sorry, yeah, the weather. I mean the water, the weather. That too. What you don't see inside is inside the storage unit. So what I did was actually there's two walls. There's external wall and there's an internal wall. In between the internal wall, I put some leftover insulation. Why? Because this part of my yard gets hit by the sun all day long, and it gets really hot. So that is to protect, or that is to make the inside temperature a little more cooler. And as you can see above the door line, there is a little vent there. It runs across the whole entire unit, and that's just to let the airflow in and out to cool off the storage. And the storage itself stands, I want to say 11 inches above ground. 11 inches because this area of the house gets flooded when it rains. So this should be high enough where water should not touch it. And I have a bunch of little boulders underneath it to keep the bigger animals out. But lately I've seen a lot of lizards going in there. So I guess it helps for preventing dogs and cats going in there, but does not help for lizards. So let's see, what else do I have? I have that metal flashing there underneath the roof shingles, so that when it rains, it should just roll off and roll over the door, so nothing gets wet, or the top of the door gets wet. That is. This last piece that's going in, I had to cut it smaller so that it could fit the latches, the door latch. I didn't get anything fancy because I didn't think it needed any fancy hardware. That, and the store ran out of all the fancy hardware. It looks like everyone else is doing this stuff during this pandemic. So, and the wood, this fence wood right here, it took 3 months to get in. That's how long I've been waiting for this project, because the wood was not available. And there it is, my little storage unit for the holiday stuff.